So we are here for the 4th International DOGA Scientific Research Project Student Conference. It's happening in 29th April 2023. So our project is named DHSO, stands for Detection of Hypoxic Symptoms, Oxygen and Saturation and Heart Rate Levels. It happens in INETE, a professional school located in Lisbon, done by the students Rodrigo Vera-Cruz, Ricardo Martins, and Rodrigo Lourenço, with the supervision of Luís Pires. So the presentation content is going to be the definition of a problem, the purpose, the development, the method used, our results, the suggestions that we give, and the resource used. Here we have a photo of the project itself. It's still under development. So what happens is there are people with severe heart rate diseases and problems that need to be envisioned and kept an eye on. So, for example, civilians with lung or breathing problems should keep an eye on their oxygen levels. And for this, we need to go to hospitals or pharmacies, which kind of like get us stuck to one place. So our purpose, our idea is to give the user or the person with these problems some freedom, a way to not be stuck in one place, to be able to walk around with maybe just a glove, if possible, which is possible, with just a glove to be able to monitor these levels, the heart rate and the oxygen levels.
The device already partially exists. There are some devices out there that were already developed with some of the features we are doing, such as detecting the BPM values, beats per minute, and the oxygen saturation of the blood. So what do we offer as an extra to this problem?
Our current product offers limited options for users to track their vital signs, as they need to rely on external devices and healthcare professionals to obtain accurate readings. In contrast, our upcoming app will empower users to easily access and monitor their heart rate and oxygen levels from the comfort of their own homes, using a glove-based sensor that enables freehand movement. This level of freedom and convenience represents a major shift in how we approach healthcare, as it allows individuals to take a more proactive role in managing their health and well-being. By removing the need to go to a medical facility or rely on specialized equipment, our app will provide users with a new level of comfort over their own health data, enabling them to make informed decisions and take action as needed. Please note that what you're seeing on this slide is just a sneak peek of our upcoming application. As we mentioned earlier, it's still a work in progress and will undergo further development and improvements before it's released. This image you see here represents the current state of the application, and it's subject to change as we refine and change its features. We are committed to delivering the best possible user experience and will continue to iterate on our design based on our user feedback and testing.
As you can see in this slide, there are 3 images. That was the version 1 of the application we were making. That one was developed using MIT App Builder. We soon realized that there was too many issues with that, and we reached to a better approach, and we started developing using Java in Android Studio. If you can play the video, please, Rodrigo. This current version is cleaner, it has more animations, the functionality is way better. So overall, it's a better option for the developing the application we are trying to make.
Okay, sorry. In conclusion, we found out that even though that this technology exists, that we are able to keep an eye on our heart rate levels and oxygen levels, we do know that the improvement into the technology is always possible. Since the more the technology evolves, the easier it is for it to evolve, and to be better. And overall, having the tools to be able to do these improvements, it's always useful, and they are, as previously stated, always getting better. Some suggestions that we have is to keep consistent work routine. Dividing the big tasks into smaller tasks, and those smaller tasks into small tasks to be done in a short period of time, and be more successful or achieve better results on these tasks. The resources used was the Arduino IDE for the programming. The MIT App Inventor was used for the old app. The Android Studio was used and is being used for the current app developments. We used Udemy for us to be able to learn Java/Kotlin, which is a language coming from Java. We used Lucid App for the block diagrams, and our datasheet to study the sensor. Thank you.
Okay, I guess that was it for the actual presentation. So thanks for that. Really interesting device being sketched here. I have a few questions. The first question is, do you have any sort of draft, any sort of early prototype? You talked about the device could be like a glove. You've shown the app, but what would the physical product look like?
The physical product would look like, I can show you real quick.
That'd be interesting,
So,
yes.
Yeah, let me just give me a second. I just need to wire this up. So basically it would be an Arduino attached to a glove. I will show you real quick what it is. Just give me a second.
Sure.
This goes here. Okay, so wait, as you can see here,
that's the Arduino, yeah.
On the camera. Yes, this is the Arduino, and this is the small sensor. So what the sensor does is it emits a red light and an infralight, and according to the levels that are reflected through our finger, it returns the values, and the Arduino does the math to be able to get the levels that we want. So the heart rates.
So that part was clear. What wasn't clear to me, you talk about the glove. Do you have a glove? So because I can imagine a standard glove, but a glove with the Arduino attached to it, I was wondering how that would look like.
So yeah, so it would look on top of our hands, since you can see we do have the mobility to use it as we please. So it would either look on top of the head.
On an actual glove yet?
Not yet. It's not yet attached completed, but we have tried. And
so the question, the reason I'm asking is obviously, well, on one hand, if you talk about a new product, it's always good to be able to visualize, even if it's not a working prototype, at least to give any idea of what we're talking about.
Yes.
With the Arduino, there's a few questions that come with it. One would be compatibility, whether if you're doing a test with compatibility, or we have to then, everybody who uses it is stuck with that technology. And you using sensors, have you tested the sensors?
Yes, we have tested the sensors.
So you know they're measuring what you want and they're measuring correctly?
Yes.
Okay, and so the next step on the prototype then would be the test there would be, can you stress test it? So does it still do it even when I'm wearing the actual glove? Because one of the first things that comes to mind is if we move the hand, if we move the finger, it may somehow impact the sensors, because they're sensors are very sensible to measure all those differences. Yeah,
it will impact the levels because of the pressure that the finger is going to be doing on the sensor. It's also one of the aspects of the levels that we get back.
And also going back to the format, so a glove, how long would a patient have to wear the glove? Do you expect them to wear it all the time, or just when they want to do a measurement?
It depends on the person. So, for example, let's say that it's someone with severe heart problems, and the doctor says, okay, you are going to need constant monitoring. Then in that case, the person would need to use the glove for a long period of time. So it depends on what the doctor says.
And have you sounded out the market as well, what the numbers are? So how many people would need that?
No, we haven't.
You see, the one thing that stuck in my mind, as you said, there are already technologies that do those readings.
Yeah.
Maybe not in such a user-friendly way, which is the novelty here, I think, is the user-friendliness. The problem with readings is the machine would read accurately, but the interpretation given by the patient can vary. And that's a dangerous thing. So the reading will be the same, but the way we interpret it is different, and patients will have different reactions depending on the readings. That's why often you don't want the patients to do the reading, not because they don't do it properly, it's because they don't interpret it properly. You see the difference. That's why we go to the doctor to have it measured, because then he can tell us or she can tell us that's what it means. Yeah, don't panic, basically. So would that be, in that scenario, have you thought about how the reading can then be properly interpreted and properly acted upon?
Yes, we have thought about that. So what happens is the app would save the readings, and later on the person could go to the doctor and show those readings to the doctor for the doctor to take the conclusions and the actions needed.
Okay, so the fact that the patient would immediately have access to the readings, that you don't think that's a worry, that couldn't, in this context, wouldn't cause issues, you think?
Excuse me, sorry?
Yeah, so the oximeter, so to measure
Yes.
the level of oxygen, became very popular during COVID. Yeah, and it was actually a very good technology to have, and it was kind of user friendly. Just stick on top of your finger,
yeah,
and it tells you. Now, if the oximeter tells you, look, my oxygen level is going down, I need to take actions, I probably have COVID, I go to the hospital, that's one thing. If I read it and whatever it says, I start panicking, then I have a negative reaction, and that's so helpful.
Yes. So the problem would be the person panicking by seeing the levels, right?
Either by panicking or the opposite, not taking action because thinking, yeah, it's not bad.
Oh yeah, it's not bad. Yes, but that would be something that would not be under our control. It would be something where we are limiting ourselves to do the project itself and show the readings, so the person can be more comfortable without being stuck in the hospital.
If you allow me to say something, if the project did ended up getting commercialized, it could always be, instead of saving to a local database on the phone, we could save it online and give it access to the doctor's access to it. So the doctors could always see what's wrong with the patient, what's the data, everything that's happening, and talk to the patient if needed.
Just out of curiosity, how did you land on this project idea?
We needed an idea to make for how do you say? We needed an idea, and we were trying to make something that had to do with COVID and helping people detect something that's wrong with them, to make people get more relaxed. And after some thought, we reached to this idea, and that was basically it.
Okay. So you mentioned commercialization there, so I think it's a good idea. But to commercialize, you would need at least two more things. One, you need to do a bit of research in numbers. It could be the best idea ever, but if there are no numbers behind it, nobody will commercialize it. That's one thing.
Yes.
And the other thing really is, when you want to propose an idea like that, you need to be able to show it. So I've seen the Arduino and the sensors, but that's not really what shows me. If you have some sort of glove, even if it doesn't work, that's not a problem. Prototype doesn't have to work. It's just to give my idea, visualizing, what it is, what you're trying to achieve, and that then can stimulate my interest even more, because I can visualize it. Yeah. So that's the two things I would suggest. If you really and absolutely do try to go down that route. If you want to go down that route, That's the two things I would work on first. See what the figures are, and then some sort of design, even if just designed on paper. That's how it would look like. Yeah.
Okay.
But many thanks for your contribution. It's been very interesting. I guess, Umur, we just move on to the next one. Is that correct?
All right. I think it's all. We can continue with the color sensor. Lucas Oliveira and Daniel Geada, they are here, I think.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, just a second,
thanks
please.
for the presentation, by the way, the former one. Daniel, Lucas, which one of you present the project?
Okay, let me just a second.
Daniel, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. You are starting with the color sensor, right? You both have two projects.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We start the color sensor.
And then we go to the
Okay.
other one.
Just a moment.
You have the screen, right?
Searching for the PowerPoint. I have two. Okay, is this? Okay, is this? Okay, is the 7? Okay. 7. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so in this presentation, we are going to talk about our project. That is basically a color sensor that was built by me and my partner, Daniel Geada. Okay, so this is how we're going to present our project and the problem. So, accurate color detecting is crucial in various fields like art, design, and manufacturing. But there are not existing color sensors that are able to detect with precision many colors. Mainly, the ones that are on the market are only able to detect the RGB colors, red, green, and blue, which it's already good, but it's not that good when we're talking about more fictional areas like art and design that need more color detection, like precision when color detecting. So why is this problem important? Accurate color detecting is necessary for many industries, like I was talking in the previous slide, and there are not the color detecting on the market. As I said, they are not detecting colors more with precision other than the RGB colors. So we decided to build an RGB color detecting that is able to detect more colors with more precision than the ones that are on the market today. So we came to the solution that we had to, in order to innovate, we had to find a way to make our project different from the ones that are on the market. And for that, we decided to using changing the code and the normal way that the color detection does in order to detect more colors on the spectrum. And okay, so I'm going to talk about the code and what does change what makes our product different from the ones that are on the market. Our project is able to obviously detect the RGB colors like every other sensor on the market, but we had to make it different. And for that, we decided to use the values that we were getting from each color and use those values to compare to other colors. So what did we have to do in order to make that work? We had to test the colors, see the values that we are getting. For example, we had to get the color sensor to the orange and see the values of each color. And then from then we had to use those values to try to make a code that is able to compare the RGB colors values to the ones that are not RGB in order to make like a, I can say, database that is able to have more colors, so our color detection is able to detect more. So are previous studies sufficient? No, they are not, because this problem from the research that I've done has not been researched enough. So when I was seeing if I could find more important information online about this this project, I can say project sensor, I was kind of, I don't know, I didn't knew where to start. And from then on, me and my partner started doing studies about each color and how we could improve this to make it more, I can say, special. And with that, we decided to kind of innovate our project. What's our contribution? As I said, the normal color sensor is only able to detect the RGB colors, which it's not enough for the market. So we decided, as I said before, with changing the code and using a different point of view, implement other colors like white, yellow, pink, brown, and orange. Those are the colors that we implemented other than the normal RGB colors, which is what the normal projects of color detecting are on the market. And we also developed an app that is able to show the colors that the color sensor is detecting via Bluetooth. And that app that we've built is user-friendly. So when a person is using the app, it can easily see the color that is being detected. And not only does it change the text, but it also changes the background to the color that the sensor is detecting. The technology. As I said, we are using a color sensor, which is a TCS 3200. We are using an Arduino Uno to process the information and send it to the app. We are using a Bluetooth module, and we are obviously using the MIT App Inventor. That is where we built an app that so that the user is able to visualize the color that is detecting. This all happens in real time, obviously. So when the person is using the color sensor, it can easily see the color changing on the app instantly, and it can detect all the colors that I've said on the slide before, and all those colors change the background as well as the text. The methods. We've decided to split this project in 3 A's: the hardware and programming, and then the application development. The hardware and programming had the job to get the sensors together on the Arduino Uno and then program it in order to send to the app the color that is detecting, and obviously make the code that I was talking about it before. That is basically comparing the colors to the values that we're getting from the RGB colors. And then there's obviously the application development, which is basically making an app that is able to receive those numbers that the Arduino Uno is sending via Bluetooth, and change those numbers to something that the user can easily understand, like changing the background to the color that it is detecting. The results. So we were able to make a difference. Our color sensor is able to detect more colors than the ones that are on the market. So we can not only detect the RGB, but the ones that I've referred on the slide before. And we were also able to create a user-friendly app to demonstrate what the color system is detecting. So Jackson, our color detector has made some improvements from the ones that are selling on the market, but there's still ways to improve it. Like we are only able to detect colors like white, orange, black, brown, and I don't know if I said yellow and pink too. But there's way more colors than that. What I would suggest to improve this project was to implement more colors and find a way to not only make these colors that I've implemented already, but change it so that we're able not only to detect those, but also other colors, and probably in the future make it possible to detect and present the code of the colors with a little hashtag and then the number of the colors like it is presented on, I can say, a professional website where you can change and see the colors code, because there are many colors out there and we are only able to detect some of them. So it would be interesting if we were able to create something that can, with 100% precision, detect every single color they are on the, I can say, they are on the world. Resources. So, as I said before, our project used an Arduino Uno, a Bluetooth module, a TCS 3200 color sensor, an on-off-on switch to turn on and turn off the sensor, a reuse flashlight that we implemented the sensors and the Arduino on it, so it can easily be grabbed and then moved around to see the colors. And we also used the MIT Amp Inventor to make an application. We can now show the video that we made.
Sorry, is there going to be a video now?
Yes, we are trying to
Okay.
share the video.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, so here's the video. Okay, so there is the video of this project. You could clearly see the reduce flashlight and the way we've implemented the sensor on the front of the flashlight itself.
You are in mute.
Any questions?
I do apologize. I keep going back to mute. I do apologize about that. Thanks for reminding me. So was that the presentation then? Yes. Can you take a few questions, Sam?
Sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the first question, I guess it's about definition, and they got a bit confused, but maybe you can help me. So when we talk about base colors, RGB,
Yeah.
RGB base colors are the colors of light.
RGB colors are the three main colors that make the other colors.
In light. They're not the
Sure.
base colors. So a painter, when they mix colors, they don't use yellow. They don't use green, because green is a mix of blue and yellow, and orange is a mix of red and yellow. So when we paint the physical color, it's red, yellow, blue, but color of light is RGB.
Yeah.
So the color light is to us is transparent. We can't see it because it's the sum of all the light in light. Yeah. Do I understand it correctly?
I understand.
Okay, so just to be sure that we talk about the same thing. So you spoke about RGB colors and you're using a flashlight, but the colors you're detecting are from the wall. So we saw that an example at the end, and I liked the video, by the way, because it really had, I wasn't sure what you meant, and then the video really showed me that's what you're talking about. So that was really helpful.
Yeah.
And you point the light to the wall, but the wall is not RGB because it's not light. So that would be red, yellow, blue base colors.
Yeah.
And it's important because it's not just a question of definition. It's important because then the light will behave differently. So you are looking at the base colors that are red, yellow, blue, and trying to get a more nuanced. So the colors, we could say that are all red, or they're all green, they're all blue, they're all yellow, but within the red, there's loads of different shades of red.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you're trying to get, yeah?
Yeah.
Now that's why the definition then becomes important. I don't think it's RGB then we talk about the base colors. So the next question then now becomes a bit, why didn't you go, the question would have been, why didn't you go with the CMYK, which is, I don't know whether you're familiar with that. CMYK is, it's meant to be cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, I think. That is the base colors used for printing.
No, I know what you're talking about, but at the time we started doing the project, we didn't really think about that. So
okay, and that the question would only be pertinent if we said, oh yes, but we didn't mean RGB, we meant the other one, because maybe because of that confusion it didn't make sense to follow up. But that's just something worth looking at. You said that application could be in robotics automation. Could you give me an example of what you think about that when you say apply in robotics?
Sure. Talk.
Like in imagine you have a factory and you have como é que se diz linha de produção, Lucas?
Okay, so imagine we are on a fabric that has the purpose to distribute like 500 packages, and each package needs to go to a place. So in order to make this work, we could use the color sensor, make each package that has to go to a certain place a color, and then use the color sensor to know where to send the package. And this is one example. There's many other. Okay,
so at the moment, this is done by either barcodes, and we know barcodes are limited in functionalities, or QR codes. QR codes have a lot more functionality. So basically, by adding color, you would say we add the level of complexity, and therefore there's more information that we can provide. It's not just a QR code, it's also a colored QR code, for instance, would tell you where to send it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I believe in some way it would be easier to distribute it using only colors and not the QR code, because you would need something to read the QR code and know where to send it. When I believe the color is detecting color, I believe it's faster than reading a QR code, because you need like a camera to see the QR code, and with the color sensor you don't really need a camera to read it.
Okay, that I must admit, I'm not aware of that level of detail, so I wouldn't be able to contribute. All I know is that QR codes are very common, are very easily created and very easily read. You know, every mobile phone nowadays has a QR code reader. So it's something simple that I'm not sure whether there'd be a demand to simplify something that's simple. But I said I don't have enough knowledge to get into details of that. One thing was two things that really I wanted to know. First, you said that your sensors detects more colors than conventional color readers.
Yeah.
Could you give me a number? By how much? Is it by 1%, by 10%, roughly?
So imagine the normal color detectors that are on the market are only able to detect the RGB colors, talking about the RGB and not the ones that we were talking about earlier. I can assume that being our color sensor being able to detect, I could say like 8 colors, and the normal one only being able to detect 3, I would say we made an improvement by more than 50%.
More than double. Okay, so
yeah.
common color sensors cannot distinguish between red. They can say red, but they can't see all the different reds. Is that correct?
Correct. You can see how much red, how much green, and how much blue there is in the stuff that is detecting, but not much other than that.
Okay, so it's a big improvement. Okay, that's fine. And the last question I had is, I've seen, so you've shown the prototypes, so the flashlight and stuff with the LED lights, and the LED lights allow the camera to detect the amount of, say, red that is in there. How much does the LED light impact the reading? Because obviously if it's darker light, it will appear darker red.
Okay, so the way the color sensor works is it is able to see what it is like reflecting and see the values of it. So without the LEDs there, you wouldn't be able to detect anything, because the LEDs are I could say like white LEDs, and with that have like 4 LEDs and make it possible so the sensor itself is able to see the reflecting color and see the values of the RGB.
No, this is clear, but maybe I need to rephrase my question. Was more, if I have more LEDs, of the LEDs I'm using are brighter, so does the brightness of the LEDs impact the reading?
Sure, yeah, it totally does.
Okay, and so how can I then transfer objective values between 2 stations if I read with one brightness and the other station reads with a different brightness?
So there's something that that will have to be adjusted at that factory, because we cannot have one working totally fine and with the right type of brightness, and then the other one with not the right type of brightness. Everything needs to be adjusted to work at the same time with the same type of efficiency.
Okay, thanks for the presentation. It was very interesting. If I may give you one suggestion, would be now you've done the prototype, the next step, try to find a usage model. So for instance, you were talking about distributing parcels. If you find a way to showcase that, you know, to go into that, that'd be very interesting. Further development of the project. Okay,
good to know.
But thanks for the presentation. Very interesting.
Then I have a little question too for Lucas and Daniel. I wondered that can this application in this project can be used in areas such or fields such as disasters. You know, we have had an example of it recently, an earthquake, and also the forest fires, likewise. For example, by integrating all these codes with a drone or a Google Map, and can it be used for identifying the areas that need help through these colors or images like this?
Okay, so I believe at the moment there's not much use in that area, because our color sensor is not improved to a certain point that is able to clearly see the, I could say like the pixels where people need help, just to leave it like this. But I believe that in the future, sure, it could be used to save people in disasters. But at the moment, I believe that using like a person actually seeing the cameras, the footage that the drone is sending, is gonna get more important information from that same area than using a color sensor.
Okay,
But
thanks.
yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
It
We
just
can
gave me
pass
an
our
idea.
third presentation, or
Yeah.
Danny, you have
Yeah,
questions.
just gave me an idea because you mentioned about detecting disasters. Thinking of the first project about hypoxia and color sensors, it would require a lot more refining because it can be, but there is a color of the eye, for instance, or color of the skin variation. You know, when it tends to go yellow, that is a symptom of different ailments. But I think you would need to refine that color detector quite a lot before you can get there and to see. But it just gave me an idea of combining the two. That's all.
And making a way so it doesn't damage the highball itself. But yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't have the lead in the eye. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, the third presentation, the third project is Pets Healthcare System, and
Yeah.
Lucas Oliveira, Daniel Geada, and Bruno Duarte, right? Okay,
Yeah.
who will make the screen sharing?
Daniel.
Daniel, okay, Daniel, the mic and the screen is yours.
Okay, so in this presentation, we are going to talk about our project, Pet Healthcare System, that was made by me, Lucas Oliveira, by Daniel Geada, and by Bruno Duarte. So this is the contents area we are going to talk about. And the problem. So we've noticed that many dog owners are concerned about the pet's health, but they don't have many access or accurate information or tools to monitor how their best friend is doing. With that in mind, we decided to build a project that is able to track the dog's whereabouts using a GPS and using a heartbeat sensor to see how the dog is doing. That way I'm going to talk on the next slide, not this one, on the next one. Why is this problem important? Dogs are beloved members of many families and their health and safety is top priority. By providing a wearable device that can monitor vital signs and location, owners can have peace of mind knowing that their dogs are healthy and secure. In addition, our device is able to provide valuable information to veterinarians, helping them to make a more informed diagnosis and treatment plans. The solution. So our team developed a vestport for the dog, like I talked on the previous slide, that incorporates multiple sensors to monitor the vital signs of the dog, as well as GPS tracker to know to keep tabs on location. We also created an accompanying app that provides owner with real-time data and historical data of their dog's health and activity levels. This innovation allows owners to have a comprehensive view of the dog's well-being, while also giving a great control and awareness of their pet's location. Are their previous studies sufficient? While there are existing wearable devices for dogs on the market, few of them both health monitor and GPS track. And in addition, many of the existing devices have limited capabilities, providing only basic informations like steps taken or calories burned, or even just the GPS tracking itself. Our device takes a more comprehensive approach to health monitor, providing owners with detailed information about the vital signs, stress levels, sleep quality, among other metrics. What's our contribution? Our innovation adds a new level of functionality to the wearable dog tech, marked by combining health monitor and GPS tracking in a single device. Additionally, our app provides owner with detailed analytics and historic trends about potential health issues before they become serious problems. This level of information and awareness is unmatched and currently wearable dog tech, making our project the first of its kind. The technology. Our technology consists of a vest for dogs that incorporate a heartbeat sensor, making it possible to calculate the heartbeat, temperature, oxygen saturation monitor. The device also includes a GPS tracker and Bluetooth connectivity for real-time data transmission to an accompanying app. The app provides owners with a comprehensive view of the dog's health and location, allowing them to make informed decisions and take proactive measures to ensure their pet's well-being. Methods. So we decided to split this project in 3 A's: the research, the hardware, and the programming and creation of the app. The research had the job to gather information about the dogs, including their different sleep zones, normal heartbeats, and other vital signs and info about the dog's behavior, including seeing not all, but a lot of dog races, and keeping information about each one that we had to implement on the app to make it more personalized. Then it came to the hardware and programming that had to wire all the sensors to the Arduino board and programmer in order to transmit data to the app via Bluetooth. And then finally, there's the creation of the app that had to develop, obviously, an app using information from the first part and keeping in mind the information that it is receiving from the second part, which is the hardware and programming. Results. Our innovation resulted in a functional and effective vest for dogs that can monitor multiple vital signs and keep a tab on location of the dog. The app provides owners with valuable information that can help identify potential health issues and track their dog's activity levels. And obviously our team conducted extensive testing to ensure the accuracy and reliability of our technology, testing on dogs, of course. Suggestions. We recommend further testing and refinement of our technology to improve accuracy and reliability. In addition, we suggest exploring partnerships with veterinarians and pet health experts to maximize the useful of our device. We also encourage further research into benefits of wearable tech for dogs and the potential for similar devices to be used in other areas of animal health and welfare. Resources. So for this project, we've used Arduino Uno, one Bluetooth module, one heartbeat sensor, one integrated circuit that we actually had to remove later. We actually removed to the bus extender. We used one GPS shield and obviously the vest that has a bag to attach the sensors to the bag and making it possible so the dog is able to carry everything without being too heavy or making it so that the dog is able to destroy the equipment itself. So we are now going to share the video of the project.
Okay, thank you, Danny.
Just a second, I'm searching for the video.
Sorry. I think I handed.
Okay, can you see?
Just to give some context, we've decided to build this project because we are going to participate in a contest called Factus, and this is the video that was used to make I can say like a first impression of what we are going to build. So this is not at this time in time. We didn't have the project built itself. This is just a presentation of what the project would be and how we're thinking how were we thinking about doing it. For some reason, we are not able to share the sound of the video, but we made it in Portuguese, so. Okay, the video itself is made in Portuguese and we are not able to share the sound, so I don't see really a point on sharing this video. Maybe just a fluxograma on the finish of the video, if you can show it, Daniel. So, okay, so here's what we've made on the start of the project. We are going to measure the heartbeat, the CPO, and the temperature. This is all already done. There is going to be sent to the Arduino Uno, and then from the Arduino Uno to the app via Bluetooth. We decided to change the where we are going to program the app from the MIT App Inventor to the Android Studios to get a to build an app that is able to show the user all the data in a more flexible way and friendly way, of course, and make the user interact with the information that he is receiving in order to make sure that his dog is doing well. Okay, I also have here the vest to show. Just 1 second. So this is the vest itself. This is the top part. You can take it apart. This is the bag that is attached to it. We are going to put the sensors inside this bag that is then going to be attached to the top part of the vest itself. This is going to the dog. Right here you can attach the bag with no problems. And the sensor that is going to monitor the dog's heartbeat is going to be on the bottom part of the vest, right here. This is going to be close to the dog's chest in order to measure the heartbeat and temperature, and obviously the CPO with no problems. And this is all compact, and it does work. We've tested in some dogs with no problems. So, any questions?
So if you reach the end of the presentation, yes, please, I'd like to ask a few questions. So maybe let's start with the last question I've written down. What is your end product? Is it the sensors, or is it the vest, or is it the vest and the sensors together?
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What is your intended product? What are you intending to produce or to suggest it? Is it the sensors, the app, or is it the vest, or is it a combination of it all?
It is a combination of it all. We are, if we were to commercialize this, we are going to obviously sell the vest with the sensor itself, so the user can buy it and instantly see the values on the phone.
But then that means you would have to get into pet fashion design.
Sure, you can say that, yeah.
Okay, so just to make you aware, you then enter a complete new world. And so there's something from a strategic point of view, you may want to start thinking about alliances. There are players, experts in pet fashion design, maybe address them. Just an idea.
Yeah,
the
for sure.
What you come up with, you've spoken a lot about the sensors, so I presume that's your core interest, your core specialty. So focus on that, perhaps. That would be an idea, a suggestion.
Yeah.
Now, another question that's connected to this. I seem to have understood that every breed of dog would require slightly different calibration. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the app. So in the app, we've implemented a way that we can choose all the different races. Each one has a description, so you can, if you don't know what your dog is or what race your dog is more approximate to, you can clearly see the description of the races and choose one that is close to your dog. So yeah, each race changes a bit how the app is going to measure.
If you want, I can show to you how to.
Sure. Just to let you know, that we don't say race, we say breed. When we talk about dogs, we talk about breed. So
yeah,
it's
my bad.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Understood. Just to let you know, just maybe a word you can use. Now, while you show us, then the next question would be, what if I don't have a thorough, a purebred dog? What if it's what we would call a mongrel or mixed breeds? What would happen?
Okay. So as I was saying, we don't have the option to unspecified breed. What we do have is a description for each race, and you have like the look, the aspect of the dog, and the weight, and how the dog behaves, and etc. So you can kind of find a dog that is close to your dog by seeing the descriptions and choose that dog.
Okay, got that. Was Daniel going to show something?
Yes, I can't. Do you know how to take the background? Because this you can see if I choose my phone. I'm trying to find how to take the.
I have the app if you want me to show it. Okay, so let me just give me a second here. It's opening the app. Loading screen.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have any values. Okay, yeah, sure. It doesn't have any values here, as you can see, because there's no dog connected to the device itself. But I can go to the random values just to see how the app is going to be if it is connected to a dog. In here we have sleep, we have steps, we have distance, heartbeats, stress of the dog, temperature, calories, and CPO, oxygen. So you have all these different values with graphics, so you can see how your dog has been doing on the past, not only on the present time. You also have notifications. So if the dog is disconnected from the device, it sends you a notification saying that the dog has run away. It does also have the GPS, obviously. I don't know if you can see here.
Yeah,
sorry, the GPS.
That's okay. Yeah,
you can see where the dog is, and yeah, that's about it. About the breeds, you have where was it? Yeah, definitions. We have all these type of different breeds right here, and each one has like a description here, quite big, which you can see your dog. You can read the description and see which dog do you does it seem close to your. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few more questions. I think we're running out of time, but you said about the temperature of the dog, for instance. How much because obviously we put a vest on the dog, and then the dog is outside, so the atmospheric factors will somehow impact on the sensors. How much do you think is that an issue? Have you tested that?
It is. I don't believe that is going to be really an issue, because as I said, the sensor is going to be between the sensor is going to be here, so it's going to have the dog's chest here, the sensor is going to be here, and then it's going to have the vest. So I don't believe it's going to change that much, because it is protected by one side the dog itself, and then the other side the vest, so it's really well protected. I mean, it's probably going to change a bit, but there's nothing we can do about it.
I have another question. There's a similarity in a way with the first project we saw about early detection of symptoms or monitoring health values, and you monitor all that, and it could be useful for veterinarians. You said it could be useful for other health professionals. It could be useful for insurers. And now we've seen in the human space, all those detectors monitoring that are somehow promoted by insurers. We are worried from a privacy point of view that we're giving away personal data, and as a result, will our insurance be more expensive? Will nobody want to insure us if they know we're always ill, that kind of thing. So it's privacy, personal data, space, and so forth. Do you think that could arise for dogs as well? Then you have the data that you monitor your dog with, and then the insurer says, "See, I'm going to insure your dog, but your dog, don't know, has had these values. It's twice the price than another dog." Do you think that you could open this problem?
Sure, obviously it could open that problem, but at the same time, I don't believe that's going to be really an issue, because the money that we already spend on veterinarians just to make sure our dog is good and healthy is already a really big quantity. So having this vest makes it so you don't have to go to the veterinarian as much, saving some money. So this is a situation where you save here and spend here.
Okay, so you don't see that as a problem financially because there are savings to be made anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. So Umur, I think we ran out of time. I would have had a few more questions, but we're running out of time.
Sure. Well, we have time. This is the lastest session, so we can continue as much as we can.
Okay. Well, maybe people also want to leave though.
Also, I have two cats. Since the beginning, I'm listening and imagining what it would be like for cats, for a cat vest, for the vital or health datas. Even though cats are mostly at homes, and they need to clean their fur by themselves. I think it can be used for post-hospital conditions to detect or to be looked for by the veterinarians, and so it can be think by another version or a variation. I found it a user-friendly project with a useful purposes. Congrats and thank you.
Thank you. We actually talking about a little bit about the cats. We actually thought about implementing on the cats. I myself have 2 cats, but there's some problems with that, because the dogs can have like collars and vests. They don't complain, but the cats, they are really subjective to it. It's not really easy to put a vest on the cat and expect it to keep the vest. And as you said, the dogs are more in-home creature. They are in-home pet, so it doesn't have to be monitored as much, because it is on a safe space, I could say.
Yeah. So this way, I think I thought the post-hospital conditions for like 2 or 3 days, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's certainly something to be thought about.
Yeah. Danny?
No, so just to summarize a few points now, I liked all 3 presentations. I like the fact that you stumble on problems, you discover problems, and you find a way to solve it through technology. Incidentally, I think the technology will solve loads of humanity's problems today, and so the more we come up, the better it is, and also the quicker we get there. I would have a question for all project members. So there's 2 different project teams really. What was the biggest challenge you encountered in coming up with the solution that your presentation? The biggest challenge you would have encountered?
Okay, I would say that the biggest challenge overall was to definitely build an app that is user-friendly and display all this data. We firstly decided to start with the MIT App Inventor, but we quickly found out that the MIT App Inventor is really hard, and it doesn't show all that we want to implement this project on that app. For example, it's really hard to make how can I say, to make something that is able to hold the values so that the owner is able to visualize how the dog is doing on the past. That's something we've implemented on this new app. Something that is also really hard is to get the date and time on that MIT Amp Inventor, which is something we also implemented on this new app. So I would say that having to learn and having to create an app on something we have never ever touched, which is Android Studios, I believe that's probably the part of the project we had to take the more work to it, and obviously we had to study about it. So I believe that's the more hard part of the project.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Is the other project team still here, Umur?
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
Is the other project team still here?
No, we have three projects. Two teams, three projects.
Two teams, correct.
Our team,
so the first team that presented on the symptoms of the hypoxic symptoms detector.
Yes,
yeah.
We are here.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the same
Rodrigo.
question to thanks. The same question to you then. What was the biggest challenge you encountered in coming up with your project solution?
The biggest challenge, I would say, it was on the app and the sensor side. The app for the same reasons,
Okay.
and I would say the sensor due to the proper understanding of the documents of the sensor. So there's like different setups of lights. For example, different levels of brightness that we would need to understand and to figure out which one is the most efficient for what we want to do.
So it's not the sensor itself; it's more the functionalities, the usability, the settings. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would say so. Yeah.
And for fully understand what the sensors, okay, what the sensors can do in what circumstances. Okay. So then on continuation, so you had these problems. I guess you overcame them to some extent. Now come to an end to other project present. What do you think would your next steps be ideally in an ideal world? What would your next steps be?
I believe that the ideal steps to make this project a bigger scale is probably research more about it. We had to develop an app, and we had to make a way that is able to don't have the sensors so much exposed, but yet still read the dog's values in order to make the project more durable. Next, I would think that, as you said, we had to find a way to probably make some partnership with people that make vests for dogs, and maybe work around like that. But I believe that more important is to develop our project, and probably something that I would believe would be really beneficial is to change from Bluetooth to Wi-Fi in order to not be restrained by the Bluetooth connection itself.
Okay. What about the other team? What would your next steps be in an ideal world?
Yes, in terms of partnership, I would say maybe pharmacies. So the project would expand faster. And sorry, I think I muted myself. About the app, I would say a better, how is it called? How do you say it? I would say organization about the data. So it would be possible to check at what time that those same values were taken.
Okay, so that would be so you get more insights. Is that to understand you correctly? To get more deeper insights in the data.
More information, not really, more information about when the data was taken. So, for example, month and day, for example, and
Okay.
at what time of the day.
Okay, so okay. Well, thanks for that. That's been really interesting. That's all from my side, Umur. Do we need to cover something else?
No.
Okay, so what are the next steps now for the team members? Let me just double check on the program. I don't have anything else officially.
Yeah, the sessions ends here. This was the last session and the last room. Thanks everyone for the presentations and the participations. We will share the ebooks later then and the video records also, and we will share it on the internet platforms of the Doğa BAP conference. Danny, before you ending the conference, I would like to thank everyone for being here, for participation. It was very good to see you, both Luis and you. I understand that I missed you. It's been a while. So hope to see you all next year's conference, and I'm giving the word to you.
Well, thanks everyone for your participation, for your active contributions. Impressive stuff, really, and I hope you keep doing what you've been doing. Just keep working on that. As said before, I think technology will solve loads of our problems, and with your creativity and your enthusiasm, we're going to get there a lot quicker. Thanks for that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And you'll have a nice weekend then. Cheers.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.